Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Your easy guide to English words you need to know. Let's go exploring far and near.
High above the clouds in Colorado, there is a road where the air is so thin that your car engine actually struggles to work normally. And the snow up there, well, it piles up so high it can bury whole buildings.
It is really amazing.
It is. Today's deep dive into our sources is about one of America's greatest natural treasures. We are talking about Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yes, and this place is incredibly great. It is absolutely beautiful.
So beautiful. You will find massive mountains, deep green valleys, rushing rivers, and some of the most wonderful wildlife in the world.
It truly is a magical place. The scale of these mountains is it is completely breathtaking.
Right. So our goal today is to help you truly understand this park before you visit. We want to highlight the major must-see attractions.
Exactly. We will share the incredible stories of the land itself. And most importantly, we will offer you very practical travel tips.
Yeah, we want to tell you exactly what to do and exactly what to avoid.
Because a park this massive, well, it requires a really good plan. You don't want to just show up, drive to a gate, and hope for the best.
No, definitely not. You will miss the best parts of the trip.
Right. So I am also going to help you learn some logistical English today.
Logistical English, I like that.
Yeah. As we explore the sources, I will highlight simple, useful phrases you will need when you are traveling. These are the exact words you will use at the park gates, at the visitor centers, and, when you are trying to follow the rules safely.
Perfect. So let's start at the very beginning. Before you can explore the amazing attractions inside the park, you have to know how to enter it.
Yes, the entrance.
I always thought a park just had one main front door, like a normal park.
Right, many do. But our sources say Rocky Mountain National Park is so huge, you actually have to pick which side of the mountains you want to start on.
Wow, so there are two very different sides to choose from.
That's right, you have to choose your gateway. The park is split by massive mountain peaks. So the east side and the west side, they feel like two completely different worlds.
That is so interesting. Let's look at the east side first.
Okay, the east side. The entrance here is a town called Esthart, and because it is much closer to the big cities in Colorado, it gets a lot of energy.
Yeah, our sources describe Estes Park as a place with nonstop action. It is filled with tourists from all over the world, just walking down the streets.
Exactly. You will find lots of restaurants, sweet shops selling chocolate, and the famous historic Stanley Hotel.
It sounds really fun.
It is. Estes Park is also extremely popular because it gives you very easy access to Bear Lake Road.
Oh, we will talk more about Bear Lake Road soon.
Yes, we will. But that road is where many of the most famous and beautiful views are located. Because of all this, Estes Park is what you might call a bustling town.
Bustling. I like that word. Sounds like what it means.
It really does. So let's learn this word. When a place is bustling, it is full of busy activity, energy, and people moving around.
Okay, bustling.
Yes. You could tell your friends, we stayed in Estes Park and it was a very bustling town with lots to do.
That is a great phrase. But maybe you want something completely different.
Right. Maybe you go to nature to escape the crowds.
Exactly. You don't want to be around a lot of people or busy restaurants. And that brings us to the west side.
Yes, the west side. The entrance here is a town called Grand Lake.
Grand Lake.
The geography over there is just different. It is tucked away behind the giant mountains, so it is much harder for the big crowds to reach.
Ah, a natural barrier.
Right. Because of that natural barrier, Grand Lake is quiet. It is peaceful.
It also features the largest natural lake in all of Colorado, right?
Yes, it does. And our sources say you will find these beautiful rustic cabins there. Just simple, old-fashioned wooden houses sitting quietly by the water.
That sounds so nice. The whole west side has a very relaxed, small-town feeling.
Exactly. And because it is so relaxed, we can use another great descriptive word. Grand Lake is a laid-back town.
Laid back.
Yes, laid back. It means calm, easygoing, and completely unhurried.
So we have bustling Estes Park on the east and laid-back Grand Lake on the west.
That is exactly right.
Let me try an analogy here. Is choosing your entrance like choosing between a busy, fun amusement park door and a quiet, secret garden door?
Oh, that is a fantastic way to look at it. The geography created those two doors.
Right, the mountains separate them.
Yes. The east side's open access created the busy amusement park door. The west side's hidden valleys created the quiet, secret garden door.
And both sides are incredibly beautiful. You really can't make a bad choice here.
No, you can't. It is an incredibly great park everywhere you look.
So, to you, the listener, you must decide what kind of vacation you want. Do you want a bustling trip with lots of energy? Go east.
And do you want a laid-back trip by a quiet lake? Go west.
Okay, so you pick your door. But once you enter through your chosen door, what is the best way to see the amazing views?
Well, you take a drive.
But you don't just drive on a normal flat road, you drive right up into the clouds.
Yes, you do. We're talking about Trail Ridge Road.
Trail Ridge Road.
This road is an absolute must-see attraction. It is a famous scenic drive.
A scenic drive. That means the road isn't designed for getting somewhere fast, right?
Exactly. It is made for driving slowly, stopping often, and just looking at the beautiful scenery.
And it is long. It is 48 miles long.
Yes, and it goes very, very high up into the mountains.
The sources call one part of this road the roof of the Rockies. It reaches an elevation of over 12,000 feet.
12,000 feet. That is incredibly high.
It is so high up. I have to ask, what does that actually look like?
Well, at 12,000 feet, you are completely above the trees.
No trees at all.
No trees. It is a harsh environment called the alpine tundra. Trees simply can't grow there because the winter is too cold, the wind is too strong, and the growing season is too short.
Wow. So you're driving through an open, rocky landscape that feels like another planet.
Yes, it really does. It shows the sheer scale of these massive mountains. They are true giants.
But wait, if the air is that thin and there are no trees, can a normal car even drive up there?
Yes, cars can drive normally. The road is beautifully paved and very safe.
Okay, good.
However, you might notice your car engine feels a little weak or slow.
Really? Why is that?
Well, engines need oxygen to burn fuel. Because the air is so thin up there, your car is getting less oxygen, so it has to work much harder.
That is fascinating. The air affects the car, not just the people.
Exactly. Now, while you are driving across this roof of the world, you also cross something called the Continental Divide.
The Continental Divide at Milner Pass.
Yes, this is an amazing story of the land. It is a very special geological line that runs along the highest peaks of the mountains.
A line on the mountains.
Right. It acts like a giant roof splitting water.
How does that work, splitting water?
Think of a single drop of rain falling from the sky. If that raindrop lands on the east side of the Continental Divide, it joins a stream.
Okay, it joins the stream.
Then it flows into a river and eventually travels all the way across the country to the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean.
But if that same raindrop lands just 1 inch to the west side of the line, it flows in the opposite direction, all the way to the Pacific Ocean.
A single mountain ridge dictates the water supply for the whole continent. That is an incredible detail.
It really is. It makes you feel very small, but in a good way.
It does. Now we must talk about the other famous road on the east side. Bear Lake Road.
Ah, yes. Bear Lake Road. If Trail Ridge Road takes you up to the sky, Bear Lake Road takes you deep into the valleys.
It is incredibly popular, isn't it?
Yes, because it is the best way to reach some of the most beautiful hiking spots in the entire world.
You can hike to Bear Lake, Dream Lake, and Emerald Lake.
Yes, all three.
The sources describe Emerald Lake as a hidden bowl of green water surrounded by massive stone walls.
And the water is perfectly clear.
The tall mountains reflect in the water like a perfect mirror. It is totally breathtaking.
It is breathtaking. But here is a major travel tip for you. This is something you must carefully plan around.
Okay, a travel tip. What is it?
Do not expect Trail Ridge Road to be open all year.
Why does it close? Is it to protect the road from too many cars?
No, it is to protect the drivers. Because of the heavy winter snow.
Oh, the snow.
Yes. At 12,000 feet, the snow gets incredibly deep. We are talking about snow that is 20 or 30 feet high.
30 feet high. That is massive.
It is. The park simply can't clear it fast enough, so they close the road for safety.
So when is it closed?
It is usually closed all winter and doesn't open until late May. Sometimes it opens even later if there is a late spring snowstorm.
That is a very important tip. Always check the official park website before you go to see if the road is open.
Definitely always check.
Now, while you are driving these high roads and walking these beautiful trails, you will quickly realize something. You are not alone.
You are definitely not alone.
Rocky Mountain National Park is incredibly great because of its animals. The wildlife here is world-class.
It really is. The animals make the park feel so alive.
Let's talk about the large animals first. You can see massive herds of elk.
Yes, a herd is just a large group of animals living together.
The elk are very large, beautiful animals, and the males have huge horns called antlers.
Right. Our sources say you can often see hundreds of them resting in a green meadow called Moraine Park.
Hundreds of them.
Yes, just relaxing in the grass. You can also see mule deer everywhere.
And you might see bighorn sheep.
Bighorn sheep are amazing. They have large, heavy, curled horns on their heads.
And they are really good at climbing, right?
Amazing climbers. They love to stand on steep, dangerous rocks. A great place to look for them is Horseshoe Park.
So that is the east side. What about the west side? Does the laid-back side have different animals?
It does. On the west side, near the quiet rivers and Grand Lake, you can often see moose.
A moose. That is a very big animal.
A moose is the largest animal in the park. They are dark brown, very tall, and they love to stand right in the water to eat plants.
The big animals are great, but the small animals are also incredibly cute and fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
Our sources mention yellow-bellied marmots.
Marmots are great. To picture a marmot, just think of a very large, furry ground squirrel sitting on a rock enjoying the sun.
Just a big squirrel enjoying the sun. I love that.
You can also see pikas.
Pikas. How do you describe a pika?
Pikas are small, round animals. They look a bit like little rabbits with short, round ears.
Okay, little round rabbits.
They live high up on the mountains in the alpine tundra. They spend all summer running around collecting grass to eat during the long, cold winter.
They sound very busy.
They are very busy. And of course, you will see many tiny, fast chipmunks running across the trails.
I read that springtime is a great time to visit for wildlife lovers. Why is spring so magical in this park?
Spring is magical because many animals are giving birth.
Oh, baby animals.
Yes. In the soft green valleys, you can see baby elk following their mothers. A baby elk is called a calf.
A calf.
You can also see baby bighorn sheep learning how to jump on the rocks. A baby sheep is called a lamb.
Seeing a tiny lamb climbing a giant mountain must be a wonderful experience.
It is truly wonderful.
It feels like you are on a wildlife safari, but without any fences. It is totally wild.
Yeah.
The animals can go anywhere they want, and they cross the roads all the time.
That is very true. And because it is completely wild, I have some practical advice on what to do.
Okay, what is the advice?
First, always bring binoculars.
Binoculars.
Binoculars are special glasses you hold to your eyes to help you see things clearly from far away.
Because we should not get close to the animals.
Exactly. The rule is, do not get close to the wild animals. Give them plenty of space.
That is very smart. But what if I want to see the really shy animals? The predators, like black bears or mountain lions.
What shy animals?
I know they live in the park, but they don't like being around noisy crowds.
No, they don't. If you want to see a bear or a mountain lion, you need to wake up very early.
How early?
You should be out exploring at dawn.
Dawn.
Dawn is the very first light of the morning, right as the sun comes up.
Okay, so very, very early.
Yes. The shy animals like to hunt and move around when the air is cool and the park is quiet. Once the busy tourists wake up, the bears hide in the deep forests.
That makes sense.
And above all, always be patient. Wildlife watching takes time.
So we have massive mountains, deep lakes, and wild animals everywhere. Because nature here is so extreme, you can't just treat this like a flat city park.
No, you really cannot.
And that brings us to the rules. To see all these amazing things safely and legally, you need a solid plan.
That's correct. We are now entering Travel Skills 101.
Travel Skills 101. I am ready.
It is time to learn the rules, the permits, and how to stay safe. This is where our logistical English will really help you.
Let's start with the most important rule. Between May and October, you can't just drive your car through the gate whenever you want. You need special permission.
Yes. This is called a timed entry permit. Let's practice that. Timed entry permit.
Timed entry permit.
To get one, you must go to a website called recreation.gov. You make a reservation there.
Usually when a place is this famous and highly controlled, it costs a fortune to get a reservation. Is this permit really expensive?
Surprisingly, no. The reservation only costs a $2 fee.
Just $2.
It's $2. The park isn't trying to take your money. They are just trying to control the traffic so the roads don't become giant parking lots.
That is very reasonable.
But you must buy it early. They sell out very fast.
Our sources say there are two different types of timed entry permits. This is where I got a little confused.
It can be confusing.
Wait, so I can't just drive on the main road if I buy the wrong permit? That seems really important to know.
It is extremely important. Let's look at the first type. The first type is called the Bear Lake Road Corridor Permit.
Bear Lake Road Corridor.
This is the ultimate ticket. It allows you to drive absolutely anywhere in the park, including the very famous, very busy Bear Lake Road.
Okay, so that one gets you everywhere. And the second type,
The second type is called the Rest of Park permit.
Rest of park?
This allows you to drive almost everywhere. You can drive the High Trail Ridge Road, you can visit the west side, but it does not allow you to turn onto Bear Lake Road.
Okay, I understand now. You have to know what you want to see before you buy the ticket.
Yes. Plan ahead.
But what if I don't want to drive my car at all? What if I want someone else to deal with the mountain roads?
Then you can take the hiker shuttle.
A shuttle.
A shuttle is simply a bus that goes back and forth between two places. You can park your car in town and catch the bus from the Estes Park Visitor Center.
That sounds easy.
It is, but listen carefully, because people make mistakes here. You need two things to get on that bus.
What are the two things?
First, you need your shuttle ticket. This proves you have a seat on the bus.
Okay, shuttle ticket.
Second, you still need a valid park entrance pass.
Oh, so the bus ticket is not the park pass.
No, it isn't. Some people think the bus ride covers the park fee. It doesn't. You must pay the National Park entrance fee to support the park, even if you are riding the bus.
That is a great tip.
Yeah.
So ticket and pass. Got it. Now let's talk about safety.
Yes, safety is so important here.
These mountains are incredibly beautiful, but they demand your respect. Nature here is powerful.
The biggest safety warning our sources highlight is actually about the air itself.
The air.
Yes. We talked earlier about how high the mountains are and how the air is very thin. That high altitude can actually make you quite sick.
Yes, altitude sickness is very real, but why does it happen?
It happens because your body is used to having plenty of oxygen. When you travel up to 8, 10, or 12,000 feet, the air simply has less oxygen in it.
Less oxygen.
Right. Your brain and your muscles are asking for their normal amount of oxygen, but they aren't getting it. So your body has to work much harder just to function.
So what does that feel like? How do I know if I have altitude sickness?
Your head might start to hurt. You might feel dizzy, slightly confused, or just completely exhausted after walking a very short distance.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
How do you stop it? Do you just have to go back down the mountain?
Going to a lower elevation is the best cure. But to prevent it, you must drink lots of water.
Lots of water.
Yes. The dry mountain air dehydrates you quickly. Drink water even before you feel thirsty. And you must rest.
Just take breaks.
Exactly. If you feel sick, stop walking immediately and sit down. Don't push yourself.
Speaking of pushing yourself, we also need to warn you about pushing yourself on a specific hiking path.
Yes, we do.
It is called the Longs Peak Keyhole Route.
Longs Peak is the tallest mountain in the entire park. It reaches over 14,000 feet.
14,000.
And the Keyhole Route goes all the way to the very top. But our sources are very clear on this. This is not a walking path.
I read the description of this route, and it sounds terrifying.
It is very intense.
Showing up in simple sneakers to climb Longs Peak will completely ruin your trip. It is incredibly dangerous.
The Keyhole Route is for extreme, experienced climbers only. You are not walking. You must use your hands to pull yourself up steep rocks.
Wow.
On top of that, the weather changes very fast. A clear blue sky can turn into a violent thunderstorm in 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes.
Yes. It can snow, and the rocks can turn to solid, slippery ice in the middle of summer.
In summer. That is wild.
Only experts should try this route.
So, showing up without a permit will ruin your trip. And showing up without the right shoes on a dangerous mountain will definitely ruin your trip.
Absolutely.
Let's take a moment to review the logistical English you just taught us so our listeners are perfectly prepared.
Let's do that. We can review these important travel words clearly through how you will use them.
Okay.
The first word is reservation. A reservation is a promise that a space is saved specifically for you.
Reservation.
When you drive up to the park gate, you can hand the park ranger your phone and say, I have a reservation for my car today.
Excellent. I have a reservation for my car today. That is clear and polite. What is the next word?
The next word is permit. A permit is an official paper or digital ticket that allows you to do something restricted.
Permit.
When the ranger asks to see your permission, you can say, here is my timed entry permit.
Here is my timed entry permit. That is very useful. And the last phrase.
Altitude sickness. We learned that altitude means how high up you are, and sickness means feeling bad.
Altitude sickness.
If you are hiking and you start feeling dizzy or your head hurts, you must tell someone. You can say, I think I have altitude sickness. I need to rest and drink water.
Those phrases will help you so much when you visit this amazing place. And we really hope you do visit because Rocky Mountain National Park is an absolute treasure.
It is incredibly beautiful.
It is time to briefly summarize our main takeaways from today's deep dive. We covered a lot of important information to help you have the best trip possible.
We really did.
First, pick your perfect entrance. Decide how you want to experience the park. Do you want the bustling energy in the restaurants of the East Side and Estes Park? Or do you want the laid-back peace and quiet of the West Side in Grand Lake?
Second, drive the high roads. Experience the amazing scenic drive on Trail Ridge Road up in the Alpine Tundra, and see the incredible mirror-like waters on Bear Lake Road.
But always remember to check the website for winter snow closures.
Always check.
Third, watch for the wildlife. Look for the massive herds of elk, the climbing bighorn sheep, and the cute little pikas.
And if you go in the spring, look for the baby calves and lambs. Just remember to use your binoculars and keep your distance.
Finally, make sure your travel skills are ready. Buy your permit reservation early on recreation.gov. Pay your park fee if you take the shuttle.
And wear good hiking shoes, drink lots of water, and stay safe from the altitude.
This park is so magical. It is truly one of the most incredibly beautiful places on Earth.
It really is. But before we finish today, I want to leave you with a fascinating geological fact from our sources.
Oh, a geological fact.
It is something to think about while you plan your trip.
I love learning about the deep history of the land. What is the fact?
Well, when you are finally visiting the park, you might be worrying about modern things.
Like what?
You might be checking your watch for your 2-hour timed entry permit. Or you might be worrying about catching the shuttle bus.
Right, checking the time.
But take a moment to look down and think about the rocks you were standing on.
The rocks.
Yes, the rocks. The deep granites and dark schists that make up the bottom layers of the park are incredibly old.
How old are they?
Our sources tell us that these specific rocks were actually formed at the bottom of an ancient ocean.
Wait, an ocean? In Colorado?
Yes, and they were formed almost 1 billion years ago.
1 billion years ago.
Over millions of years, the Earth's crust pushed those ocean rocks high up into the sky to create the mountains you see today.
1 billion years ago. That is an amount of time that is hard for the human brain to even understand.
It really is. The Earth has been waiting 1 billion years for you to come and visit those very rocks.
Wow.
The mountains have stood there for ages, slowly carved by water and ice, just waiting to be seen.
1 billion years of history, waiting right there for you to explore it. It reminds you that choosing your gateway, whether it's the busy amusement park door or the quiet secret garden door, is just the very first step into a very ancient and wonderful world. Go explore it.